Bringing awareness to the breath. Just begin to notice the breath. Notice the rise and fall. Notice the length of the breath. Is the inhale longer than the exhale? Is the exhale longer than the inhale? And as you continue to breathe and observe the breath, see if you can observe the breath with curiosity, without any judgment, without any opinion, criticism. Simply observe. You might notice which nostril the breath breathes in and out of more, and which is less. And you might feel which side of the body, right or left, front or back, you feel the breath in more. And then begin to divide attention between the breath and a body scan, starting at the crown of the head. And as you move down the body from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, just become aware of the body, sensation in the body. You might notice areas that feel really good today. You might also notice areas of tension. Nothing to do, nothing to change, just observing, taking inventory. And as you arrive at the soles of the feet, let that scan go and allow the attention to rest fully on the breath. You might even imagine the breath like an altar, something to set the attention on, to focus on. In your next inhale, draw the belly out, expand. Maybe you bring the breath all the way down into the depths of the belly. And as you exhale, think long, smooth, soft exhale. Inhaling fully into the belly. Exhaling long, smooth, soft. A few more, just like that. Full breath in, filling the whole belly. Soft and smooth exhalation. Couple more. And on this next exhale, you might find a little sigh. You might even take a couple more. From here, we'll move into opening practice with 3 Oms. And wherever you're at, lying down or seated, you might participate, you might not. Yogi's choice this morning. We'll take a few connecting breaths together in through the nose Out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more, just like that. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll inhale and prepare for sound. Whoa. On your next inhale, find some gentle movement, opening toes and fingers wide. And as you exhale, draw toes and fingers in. Inhale, open toes and fingers wide. Exhale, draw in. Stay with this for a few more breaths, feeling into that gentle sensation. And as we continue to move this morning, I want to invite you to think about the effortlessness among the effort or within the effort. Right? So we always have a little bit of efforting in our practice. And today we're after the sensation of effortlessness. Right? So we might still move and then slowly find some stillness in the toes and the fingers. And then you'll move into some ankle rotations, some wrist rotations, moving along with the breath. And tuning into that sensation of effortlessness. Even among movement, even among where we're headed. Movement in the body, connecting breath, connecting body and mind. We'll find some stillness in the wrists and the ankles. Slowly begin to reach the arms overhead. Finding a good morning stretch, reach the body long. And with an exhale, start to tip everything to the left-hand side. So arms will reach to the left, toes will reach to the left. And you're making a big C curve if you're lying down. If you're sitting, you're pressing both hips down and just reaching over to the left a little bit. We'll inhale back to center. And we'll exhale, start to move into the other direction. Reaching long through the body. We'll inhale back to center. And if you're not lying down, you might want to move in the direction of lying down. We'll exhale and draw the right knee into the chest. Giving it a little squeeze, and you might rotate out the femur bone and the hip socket. Taking another full breath in here. Exhale, squeeze that knee in just a little closer. And with your inhale, release. Send the arms overhead. Send the leg long, big, full stretch in. And with an exhale, we'll draw that left knee into the chest. Again, finding a little movement at first. Staying present to the breath. Letting the breath guide each action. We'll take another inhale. As you exhale, squeeze that left knee in as close to the body as you can. And then we'll inhale, extend long, full breath in. And then we'll hug both knees into the chest. And just take some rock and rolls here. You might roll around side to side, move a little forwards and backwards, right? Just starting to build relationship. And then I invite you to try a little challenge this morning. So feeling into the same rocking action, we'll keep the knees into the chest. And then you might release the arms, right? And if you need a little bit more support, you might even just bring them behind the thighs, but feel into that rocking, but without supporting the legs, right? So we're starting to warm into the core in a little bit different. You might even drop knees a little side to side, but you want to support the low back by drawing the belly into the spine. You're just feeling into that sensation. And then we'll start to come back to neutral. Bring the knees in as close as you can. And then when you're ready, release the arms alongside the body. And we're going to extend the legs to the sky as we reach the arms overhead. And as you exhale, release the arms back alongside the body, draw the knees in. And we'll take this about 5 times. And as you continue to move, you might think about nuzzling the shoulder blades in together. To create a little biofeedback with the floor, a little opening in the shoulder blades. And then after you've completed those few rounds, we'll draw the knees back into the chest. And then bring the hands to the top of the knees. Keep the knees together, so really squeeze them in. And then with the knees together, just take some little circles with the knees. So the arms are directing the action. You're just rotating around. It should feel really nice on the low back, in the hips. You might play around with pressing the knees away, making the circle a little bit bigger, bringing the knees a little bit closer. And then if you haven't already rotated to the other direction, you might try that. And then we'll bring the knees in a little close once again. And then from here, we're going to work into reverse tabletop. So knees will stack over the hips. You'll press out through the feet like you're standing on them, shin bones parallel to the earth. We're going to bring the hands to the thighs. And again, you might think about nuzzling the shoulder blades in together, creating some space along the cervical spine. And then starting to press the palms into the hands, pressing the thighs back. You heard what I said. So hands into thighs, thighs back into hands. And just start to feel the low belly activate. And I want you to think about having a little bit of an arch in the low back. Not so much that you could stick a pencil under there, but maybe you could slide a piece of paper or your strap underneath. Right? So just a little bit and play around with how that feels. And if it feels like too much, draw the belly back to the spine, roll the pelvis closer to you and press the small of the back down into the earth. We want everything to feel supported. So keep pressing left hand into right thigh. And we're going to tap right toes down, reach the right arm overhead. For 3 or 5 actions. Let's try to work up to that 5. Inhale to find length. Exhale to draw in. 1 or 2 more if you've got it in you. And keep pressing right hand into right thigh. We'll switch left side. Use that breath. Beautiful breathing. And then from here, we'll lower the feet down to the earth, setting up for bridge. And just let everything settle. The arms might come alongside the body. Take a moment. Let things come in to the body to settle. And then from here, we'll walk the feet out to the edge of the mat. And you might cactus the arms. You might wrap the arms around the head. Just find somewhere that's comfortable for the shoulders. And then from here, we'll just start to sway the hips and the knees to the left. Inhaling to bring the knees back to the sky and releasing in the other direction. So for this first round, I want you to think about the action coming from the hips. So the hips are what's in charge of moving the legs. And then keep a slight engagement of the belly, maybe 20 or 30%, just to protect the low back. You might think about drawing the low ribs into the body. And then find some evenness. Maybe landing on the opposite side that you began with, and we'll come back to neutral. Make any adjustments in the body that you need, and then we're going to take the same action, but I want you to think about this action coming from the feet. So the feet now are in charge of this action, and it might feel totally different. That's the point. Again, keep that slight engagement of the belly to protect the low back, especially drawing the low ribs in. And you might feel into the sensation in the bottom of the feet rolling around on the earth. And then we'll come back into neutral. And this time, really keep the belly engaged. So maybe about 30 to 50%, depending on what you need. And we're going to maybe walk the feet a little closer, walk to the bum, and then walk the feet a little closer in together to each other. And then you're going to think about, let's start on the right side. Right leg opens up, and then the left just happens to follow. And then as the left kind of flops down, it'll take over. So left now will open up until the right side follows. And then you're just kind of letting it flop down. So feel into that sensation, right? A third way to do the same action, noticing in the body how this feels different, how different muscles are working, different sensations may be arriving. Yes. And then we're going to move into our fourth and final variation of our little windshield wipers this morning. So this time the bottom leg is in charge. So my left leg is down, maybe your right leg is down, whatever leg is down, you're going to pick that one up first, and then it kind of picks up the opposite leg and sends it over to the opposite side, and then they both kind of settle into the opposite side. And then this time my right will pick up left and bring it over. Come back into the breath. Inhale to lift the knees, exhale to soften. We'll take one or two more on this side, just whatever brings you back into a sensation of balance. And then we'll come back to neutral, knees pointing to the sky. Nicely done, everyone. And then from here, let's bring the arms alongside the body. Nuzzle the shoulder blades back in together. And then walk the feet to wherever they need to be to work your way into a bridge pose. So you might think about shoulder blades pressing into the earth, nuzzled together, triceps pressing down, palms pressing down, and we'll just start with that pelvic tilt. So as you inhale, soften the belly, roll the pelvis away, arch the low back, and as you exhale, draw the belly button to the spine, press the small of the back into the mat. Press a little weight into the feet. Inhale, soften the belly. You might even feel a sensation of dragging into the feet as you press them down and pull closer. Exhale, maybe you press away with the feet and help the small of the back press into the earth. We'll take a couple more like this before lifting the hips at all. Just feeling into that sensation of massage on the sacrum, the pelvis rolling to and fro. And now we'll start to carry a little weight into the feet. So the next time that you exhale, drawing the belly button to the spine, hold that engagement of the belly, start to press a little weight into the feet, and you might lift the hips just a little. We'll roll back down one vertebra at a time, really focusing on each individual vertebra, connecting to the floor. And then we'll expand the belly, lift the back, exhale, draw back in, maybe lift the hips a little higher. So think about this as like a little spinal massage. See if you can really tap into each individual bone of your spine, allowing the breath to wash over you. Let's take one or two more rolls with the lift, and then we'll eventually make our way into our fullest expression of bridge. If you've got a block handy, and I will actually bring one around while you continue to do this so that it's close to a hand. Keep rolling, keep lifting. We don't need that block yet. And then the next time, beautiful breath this morning. And the next time you lift up and you arrive in your bridge shape, arms alongside the body, you might nuzzle the shoulder blades in a little closer still. And if that feels good, you might bring the arms to clasp, the hands to clasp underneath the low back, pinkies pressing down into the earth so that you can press the arms down into the earth. Continue to press into the feet, lifting the hips, engaged in the glutes. One more breath in. Exhale, stay lifted, but release the hands if they're clasped, and snag your block, and we'll set the block underneath the sacrum, and you'll just rest the sacrum down. So now we come into our supported bridge. And then just let the arms soften. You might close the eyes, just feeling into the support of the block, this gentle inversion, the hips higher than the heart. And then from here, keep the left foot down into the earth. We're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest. You might collect it, or you might just keep the arms alongside the body, especially for some opening at the neck, some opening in the shoulder blades. And then we're going to extend the right leg to the sky and press through the heel like you're stamping the foot to the sky. Just take a breath in, breath out. And then from here, we'll just find some gentle little circles. And I want you to move really methodically, like really feel into the movement of the leg and what's happening at the level of the muscles. Continue to slightly press the left foot down to support the pelvis. And then you might rotate the right leg in the other direction. This might feel really good on the back of the right hip. A little bit of a massage, a little bit of awakening. We're going to take one more. Come back into neutral with the right leg. Hug the knee in, and then we're going to set the foot on the earth. You might stay here, or you might slide the right heel out. And then we're just going to let that right side open. Come into the breath. Think full breath in. Long, smooth, soft breath out. Come back into this idea of effortlessness, right? We did a little bit of efforting so that we can let go. We can soften. We'll take another full breath in. Full breath out. This next inhale, maybe you can sip in a little more joy. Exhale, a little more gratitude. We'll inhale, start to think about bringing the knee back up. And as you exhale, engage the leg, slide the foot back underneath the knee. Nice job, everyone. And we'll work into the opposite side. So full breath in. And on the exhale, draw the left knee in. And we're just going to hold it there for a moment. Let the hips adjust. We'll take a full breath in. And on the exhale, extend the leg to the sky. Press through the heel like you're stamping your foot to the sky. And press a little weight into the right foot to support the pelvis. Feel that engagement at the level of the hips. And then we'll just find those little circles. And really tune into what's happening in the leg, what's happening around the thigh bone, what's happening in the hip. Allowing the breath to wash over this action, creating a sense of stability, of grace, of ease, effortlessness. And we'll rotate the other direction. Right? It's kind of like your grass on the ocean floor, swaying in the water. And you might even start to feel a little belly heat arrive. We'll take one more breath in. Exhale, come into neutral. We'll release the knee back into the chest. Set the foot on the earth and go ahead, slide that heel out. And just let everything soften on the left side. Maybe close the eyes and just come back into the breath. Come into that joyful breath. Breathing in joy. Breathing out gratitude. So, option here, if it feels good and if it feels safe for the body, you have the opportunity to extend both legs. So, starting to slide the right leg out. Let the toes turn out, kind of allowing the feet to flop open. Right? It will only stay here for a few breaths. If this does not feel good, slide the feet back one at a time and then just stay in this supported bridge shape. We'll take another breath in, filling into the front of the body. Exhale everything out. One more, just like that. Full breath in, filling into the front of the body. And with an exhale, soften everything. If legs are extended, we'll inhale, start to bring one leg in at a time. Exhale everything out. Inhale, start to press some weight into the feet, lifting the hips slowly and gently. And then we'll slide that block out from under us. And then slowly start to lower down one vertebra at a time. Let the sacrum connect to the earth. We'll walk the feet out once again, and we'll just take a couple more windshield wipers. Move really mindfully. Keep that low belly engagement, hugging even the top of the belly in by bringing the low rib cage in. So find that engagement to support the low back. We'll bring knees into neutral. And then from here, we're going to work our way into seated. So a couple options here. You can roll onto the side and lift up. If it feels good for the body, we'll move into our boat. So coming into reverse tabletop first, stacking the knees over the hips, pressing out through the feet. We're going to inhale here, and we're going to exhale and reach the fingertips away from us. So pressing through the whole core. So head lifts, shoulder lifts, heart lifts, reaching through the fingers. One full breath in. Smooth, steady exhale out. Another full breath in. And as you exhale, you might press right into your boat pose. We'll stay here for one more breath. And we'll exhale, release everything down. Nice job. How are we feeling? Warm? How's the low back?
Low back is fine, but I'm feeling
Okay. Okay. Come into that, right, that evidence of safety that we practice, right? Breathing into it. See if you can get it to soften with that practice. All right, from here, we're going to work into our boat. Hopefully, this will help.
oh, I didn't know. That was when I heard it coming up last time.
Doing that, but that was this, right? So we're going to work into our leg vibrations, our low back, and then coming into the full boat. So do what you can and feel into that and see if you can feel around the pain, almost through it, right? And then use that practice to try to soften it, right? Imagine it softening, right? Give it evidence of safety. Yeah? All right. All right, so legs extended. And arms might be alongside the body. You might even, right, bring hands to blocks. Sometimes this can feel nice. Or hands on the earth. Final bus stop, you might bring arms to cross, right? And this is going to require a lot of all of that connective tissue supporting muscle around the spine. And then soften the ankles. Yours already are. Mine just naturally go like, woo, press through. All right, so look at the right leg. Visualize everything starting to turn on. Feel into that sensation first. And then you might start to slowly bend the knee just a little bit, just a little bit. Start to feel that sensation of things turning on, especially the front of the thigh, right? You might even feel it in the hip. You might even feel it at the sit bone. You might even feel it a little bit in the back of the hip. And then you might start to bring up the knee just a little more. And this might be plenty for you this morning, right? Continue to breathe. And then if this feels good and you want a little more still, we'll inhale. And on an exhale, lift the right heel off the earth just a little bit. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. And we'll exhale and soften. Nice job, everyone. We'll release the hands down. You might just take some little circles with the hips and the spine, rotating one direction and the other. Worse? Better? Same? Well, same is okay. Better than worse.
Well, I didn't lift it up.
Perfect. Perfect. And that's a good spot for it to be, right? Like, we're still working. That's like still enough work. All right, let's move into the other side. So switch the cross of your cross. Should feel awkward. Press down into the sits bones. Lift the spine. Feel that length arrive. Soften the ankles. Look down at the left thigh. Feel that engagement start as you slowly begin to lift the knee, right? And just feel into that sensation. Come back into the breath. Continue to slowly lift the knee. right? And this might be plenty. And then if you want a little more, we'll inhale. And on an exhale, lift the heel just a half inch or an inch off the floor. Keep breathing. A little more bend in the leg is going to be a little easier. We'll take another full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. And lower the leg down. Nice job, everyone. All right, from here, let's walk the hands behind us. And it doesn't matter, fingers could be towards us, fingers could be away, just whatever's going to be comfortable for the shoulders. And then we'll step the feet in a little bit. And then I want you to think about drawing the shoulder blades together, slight tuck of the chin, so lifting up through the back of the neck, and then we'll just start to press into the hands to lift the heart. And I want you to feel into that expansiveness across the chest and even into the belly. Full breath in, filling the front side of the body. Exhale, drawing the low belly in just a little. Full breath in. Exhale out. One more. Let it go. We'll inhale. Keep the feet where they're at, and we'll just start to come back into seated. And then let's work into a little twist here. So feet are going to come together, legs are going to come together, and you might have to adjust where the feet are. You want that sensation of kind of being able to hug the knees and to come up into seated with the spine lengthened. Nice job, everyone. And then from here, we're going to hug the the left arm around whatever you can grab. And then the right arm is just going to start to come behind us. And then as you connect to the earth, you're pressing into the right hand a little bit to lift the heart a little bit higher as you continue to rotate. We'll take another full breath in. Full breath out. You might notice with the legs together, it's a little more challenging to work into this twist, and that's okay. Right? We're just exploring a new shape, a different way to move the body, a different way to breathe into the body. One more full inhale. And we'll exhale, start to unwind. Keep holding on with the left arm to bring the right around. We'll switch the grip. We'll inhale, find that length. And exhale, start to open up. And then as you inhale, find length, lift the spine. Exhale, continue slow rotation. Full breath in. Long, smooth, soft exhale out. And if you're feeling any of that pain sensation, right, even if it's subtle, use the breath to imagine it softening. Right, inhale, feeling into the length, the fullness. Exhale, finding softness. You might even think, I am here as you inhale. I am safe as you exhale. We'll take one more breath in. And we'll exhale to unwind. Nice job, everyone. And then from here, we're going to work into our boat. So you might stay right here. You might release hands to the back of the thighs and lean back and have this be your boat this morning. If you want a little more, you might bring one foot up and just practice balancing one side. If you want to try that on the other side, or you might bring both knees up. Continue to draw the shoulder blades together and lift the heart. See if you can create a little more length in the back of the neck. Beautiful this morning. Beautiful breath. One more full breath in. And we'll exhale. Let the feet drift down to the earth. Nice job. You might come into Omega, or you might come into Easy Pose. And if it's, I know, it's just, that's what they call it. And if you want to try Easy Pose, right, you can use blocks to support the legs. And that's just going to keep everything lifted so you can feel into, right, we're just bringing the earth closer to us. So you still, this might feel good too, right? Or this variation, or coming to sit on the knees. We're going to do some side bending. So you're just finding your comfortable seat. Nice job, everyone. And we'll inhale, arms up and overhead. And we'll exhale to the right. You might just connect to the earth for a moment. Breathe into that left side body. And we'll inhale back up. And exhale to the other side. And we'll just take this a few times, both sides. Continue to press the hips down, even if you're seated on the heels, right? You want to feel that nice stretch along the whole side of the body, maybe a little bit in the front, maybe a little bit in the back. And then we'll land on the left side and we'll stay here for a few breaths. So press that right hip down and see if you can create just a little more length from the right hip all the way to the right fingertips. Beautiful. And then you might stay in some stillness, or you might find just a little drop of the shoulder forward and then opening the shoulder to the sky. So a little bit of rotation in the mid back. And for some of us, we might just do this very small, right? So just a little bit of an action. For others, if you have the mobility, you might go pretty big, right? So it just depends. You want to find that edge and then you want to back off from it. Nice job this morning. We'll come into neutral. So find neutral spine in the side bend. We'll lift up on an inhale. And then we'll release right hand down, left arm lifts. Press the left hip into the earth as you continue to rotate, lifting the heart. And then if you found that beneficial on the other side, you might start to drop the shoulder down and start to lift the shoulder up. We'll take another breath in and another breath out. Come to neutral on the right lean, and we'll inhale back to center. We'll open the arms wide, draw the shoulder blades together. Maybe give your neighbor a high five. And then we'll draw arms in. You might grab the shoulders or the shoulder blades, give everything a squeeze, round the spine, chin to chest. And then we'll inhale, open up. Little arch in the mid back, and we'll exhale, switch the cross, and we'll go into the other direction. Let's open up again. We'll keep moving if you're seated on the knees. If you're cross-legged, let's switch the cross of the ankles and keep moving. So you want to feel into that cat-cow sensation with the spine. And now we're just incorporating the arms together. That little squeeze in, because who doesn't love their own personal hug? Right? There's that, gosh, it escapes me who it is, but that song, Your Own Personal Jesus, Your Own Personal Hug. Don't know that one? Oh, well, now we'll have to play it after class. It might be a Cohen song. Yeah, but I'm not sure. I should know that. All right, we're going to open up one more time, and this time we're going to bring right arm under left, and then you might work into crossing and connecting the hands. Ooh, nice job. Look at all that openness in here. All right, and then start to press the palms together or wherever the fingers are gripping. Press a little into that, and then you want to think about lifting the elbows away from the floor so that the forearms, or excuse me, the upper arm is relatively parallel to the earth. You might continue to nuzzle shoulder blades in together. There's an opening and a drawing in at the same time. And then from here, we're just going to take some circles. And then we'll circle in the other direction. Nice job today. And we'll come through neutral. We'll inhale, find length in the spine, belly button to spine, and we'll open up. Inhale here, lift the heart. And we'll exhale and we'll work into the other side. So left arm under, crossing at the arms, and then feel into that, the arms pressing into one another, and then lifting the elbows away from the floor, forearms away from the face. Still that dual action of drawing the shoulder blades together while simultaneously spreading apart, right? Feeling into that, and then we'll move into our circles. Next time you arrive at the top, rotate in the other direction. We'll arrive back at the top. Let's inhale to unwind, open the arms wide. Big full breath in. Exhale everything out. Stay wide. Draw the shoulder blades together even more. Full breath in. And we'll exhale, release arms down. How we feeling? Lively? Vital? Yeah. Love it. All right, now we're going to move into our tabletop. So, have your blocks handy at the front of your mat. And if you'd like to do cat-cow on the blocks, right, any height is good, right? And sometimes it just gives a little more space. You could come onto the forearms, right, if wrists are feeling a little tuckered out, and do cat-cow. You could just come onto the earth, right? And we'll just move right into our cat-cow. So as you exhale, draw the belly button to the spine, press into the hands, and lift the heart all the way to the sky. As you inhale, soften the belly, widen through the collarbones, and keep the gaze maybe like 10 inches away from the fingertips. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, soften the belly, widen through the collarbones. Let's take a few more, and by few I mean several. And you might close the eyes here. And again, tune into that sensation of each individual vertebra moving. Feeling into the articulation of the spine, the shoulders. Continue to breathe, right? Let this be that breath practice. And then feeling into that flow, that smoothness, right? That's that effortlessness, even in the efforting. What we practice on the mat reflects off the mat. We practice the sensation of effortlessness here. Where else can it show up in your life? challenges and obstacles, day to day. Feel that smoothness. Feel into the breath guiding each action. Let's take one or two more. And then we're coming to a neutral spine. And we're going to work into our bird dog this morning. So a couple options here. We are going to either just extend the leg or extend the opposite arm and leg. And the big trick here is going to be keeping the block on the back. So we're going to play around with this a little bit differently today. So you'll grab a block and you'll set it on your sacrum or low back area. And the trick is to keep the block on the back. So we'll start with extending the right leg and set the toes on the earth and just press out through that heel. We want to activate the whole back of the leg. And you're really pressing. You might even feel into the palms, right? Getting a little stretch in the back of the leg and feeling the low belly start to activate, almost as if you were doing a plank pose, right? So starting to feel that. And then full breath in, hugging belly button to spine. Exhale, lift the right leg. We'll inhale, bring the gaze that 10 inches in front of the fingertips. Exhale, knee to nose. We'll inhale to extend. Exhale to draw in. Inhale to extend. Exhale to draw in. We'll take 3 more. If you want to extend the left arm and now bring knee to elbow without dropping your block, maybe play around with that. We'll hug in once more here, and then release knee or knee and hand down to the earth. Nice job. Let's go ahead and walk the knees wide. You might set the block aside for just a moment, and then we'll press hips to heels. See if you can find a little length in the arms as you settle into this wide leg child's pose. And you might let the heart drift down to the earth. Come back to the breath. Come back to that full breath in, all the way into the belly. Long, soft, smooth exhalation out. Full breath in. You might even feel that little bit of compression of the thighs into the sides of the belly, expanding wide across the whole front of the body. Softening a little more with each breath, tuning into that sensation of effortlessness. One more breath here. Exhaling everything out. And then we'll inhale, rising back into tabletop. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. And we'll bring a block back to the low back. And then from here, extend the left toes or left leg out. Press the toes down into the earth and press through the heel. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the leg. And as you continue to feel into that stretch, feel into like a half plank, right? So pressing down into the arms, pressing back through the heel, feel the low belly start to engage. With an inhale, find that length and engagement. With an exhale, we'll lift the left leg. Full breath in, gaze 10 inches in front of the fingertips. Exhale, knee to nose. Draw the knee in, round the spine just a little. Inhale to extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. We'll take a few more. Option to extend the right arm. And bring knee to elbow. Last drawing in here. We'll release knee or knee and hand back to the earth. And this time, keep the knees where they're at. And as you release down to child's pose, you might drop that book. And we'll just come into a quick child's pose on the knees. Again, breathing into the belly here. You might bring chin to chest, feeling some length in the back of the neck. We're going to come up to stand on the knees next. So start to tune into the shin bones and pressing a little weight into the shin bones. As you next inhale, fill the body up. Exhale everything out. And we'll sweep up on an inhale, coming to stand on the knees. Keep chin relatively close to the chest and lift the arms overhead, drawing the shoulder blades back into their socket. I'm going to rotate so I can see you. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Keep pressing down with the shin bones, feeling the front of the thighs active, the glutes active, that slight tucking of the chin, lifting up through the spine. We'll take another full breath in here. And with an exhale, we'll melt back down, coming into our child's pose. We'll inhale, rise into our tabletop. Find length in the spine, and as you exhale, we'll tuck the toes. Let's press hips all the way to the heels, like a little cat, right? Like, you've seen kitty cats do down dog and puppy dogs, right? That same action of really stretching through the arms and the top of the body. We'll come back into our tabletop. And then we'll press back, hips to heels again, reaching through the hands. Really arch the back. We'll take this one more time, hinge forward. And then really lift the heart to the sky, press back. And this time you might press into the toes and begin to lift the hips, coming into your downward facing dog. Nice job, everyone. And pedal out your dog. And you might press right heel down as you press left palm into the earth. Or you might do the opposite, right? Just feeling into that sensation of the cross in the the whole back really. And then start to come into a little stillness. We'll inhale to gaze forward, and with an exhale, we'll slowly walk the feet to meet the hands, coming into a forward fold. And this first forward fold, let's take the feet a little wide and find a deep bend in the knees and let the torso melt over or between the thighs. And you might keep hands on the earth or hands on a block. You want to feel supported, and then let the head and neck go. See if you can tune into that sensation of the head just dangling off the spine. Right? You're after decompression in the whole spine, including at the base of the skull. You might cross arms at either elbow for a little more traction. But keep a little bit of an engagement in the shoulders just so that you're not making earmuffs in the body. We'll take another couple breaths here. Full breath in. Smooth, soft exhale out. Full breath in. Soft breath out. One more. Let everything go on the exhale. Release the hands down to the earth. We'll inhale, half lift. You might come up on a block. And then we'll walk the feet back underneath the hips. And then with a block or hands on the earth, we're going to sit up in almost like a tabletop but standing position. So wrists or hands are underneath the shoulders, feet are under the hips. And then we're going to come into the toes and bend the knees. So it's kind of like you're just coming forward a little bit and then coming back. Bending the knees, coming into the toes, and then lengthening the legs again. So the shoulders aren't really moving here. It's just the legs. We're getting a nice warm up in the hamstrings, in the hips, and the knees, and the ankles. Getting a little more balance ready. We'll inhale once more. Exhale, release the heels down to the earth and we'll come into that forward fold once again. And you might feel that this forward fold feels a little bit different. And everyone bring weight into the toes. So that same action. And then a slight bend in the knees. And you might feel a little more space along the back of the legs, maybe even in the low back. One more breath in. Exhale everything out. The next time you inhale, we'll slide the hands up the legs until you arrive at the thighs. And then weight is in the toes and we're halfway lifting, right? So gaze out over that imaginary cliff. Exhale, slide the hands back down. We'll inhale, half lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Create openness across the collarbones. Exhale, melt back down. This next one, we're going to rise all the way up. So either roll up the spine or sit back in your chair to protect the low back. And we'll rise up. And then release arms down. Nice job. How we feeling? Great. Alive? Warm? I know, it gets toasty in here. Good. All right, everyone collect a block. Louise, how is better, worse, same?
Well, it's the mood. So the more that it hurts. But it needs that. It's not a bad stretch.
Okay.
I don't think it's
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, come back into that just, am I safe? Yes. Right? Feeling into that and see if that'll help it settle. All right, we're going to do chair with a block. Everyone's favorite. Don't be so excited, everyone.
I don't mind chair, but
People, that's the one that like, if anyone was going to throw blocks at me, it's usually chair. Because it's big muscles. Big muscles. And it's autumn. We're moving into autumn, so it's the time to work big muscles. All right, so I tend to like to roll on the feet back and forth a little bit just to get them awake, get everything aligned, right, from the foundation of ourselves. And then, adjusting with the light. All right, and then once you find that spot, we'll bring the hands to the hips to start. And I want you to feel into the sensation of squeezing the block together with the inner thighs. And then we're going to slightly bend the knees, so just a little bit of that athletic stance, and then lift the kneecaps with the quadriceps. This is why they don't like chair. And then we're going to bring the heel of the hand to the hip crease. And I want you to press, as you start to sit down, press the hand into the hip crease to keep the spine and the heart lifted. Right? So it's kind of this setting down. Keep squeezing and lifting in the legs. Keep pressing down into the hands to keep the shoulders open, the heart lifted. Beautiful. And you might sink a little bit deeper. Find that evenness in the feet. Keep squeezing the block, lifting the kneecaps. Nice job, everyone. We're going to be here for 5 more breaths. Full breath in, long, smooth, steady. Exhale out. Full breath in. Smooth, exhale out. Full breath in. Smooth, exhale out. Do 2 more if you've got it. Squeezing and lifting. Maybe lift both corners of the mouth. And exhale. We'll inhale, arms up overhead. Squeeze the block. Keep lifting the kneecaps. And then press the hips forward just a little bit. And then lift at the heart. Full breath in. Exhale. Another breath in. And we'll exhale back to neutral. Nice job. Do you feel really awake now? Good, good. All right. From here, we're going to stay with the block in between the legs. Keep squeezing and lifting. And then left arm's going to reach down the side of the body. Right arm's going to come up to the sky. And we're just going to come into this nice side bend. Full breath in, breathing into the whole right side of the body. Exhale everything out. Inhale fully. Exhale. We'll inhale back to center. Release that arm down. We'll inhale opposite side. And release in the opposite direction. The sun moved more. We'll take another full breath in. Exhale everything out. We'll inhale back to center and release both arms down. Nice job. Did that feel a little bit different with the block? Did it feel more supportive or? Yeah, good, good. All right, well, we're going to release our block. Adjust forward, I think, a little bit. And we're going to come to step wide on the mat. And then we'll start with extending the arms and just check in that ankles are below the wrists. So for most of us, that means just a little bit wider. And then we're going to release hands back to the hips. And I want you to find the front of your hips, right? So that like nice bony part, a little bony point. And then find the back of the hips with the thumb, right? So feel into the pelvis. And I want you to just kind of feel into right now that it's probably pretty even, right? So if my pelvis were a big bowl of fruit, let's say fruit today, big bowl of fruit, right? And where we're heading, we all have this tendency to spill out the front of ourselves. So we're going to try to keep the front of the hips lifted, but feeling into that neutrality here helps as we rotate into our warrior two shape. So hands on the hips, pick up the toes and pivot on the right heel. And then left toes might come in about 45 degrees. And we're in this open hip position. So then this front hip, the right hip, you might feel that it really wants to dive in, right? So that's kind of this action that we like to do. So then see if you can pick up the hips and keep the fruit in as you start to settle into the lunge, right? And that might make everything feel a little bit different. Draw both feet together energetically to lift up in the inner thighs. And then from here, if this all feels good, we're going to extend the arms, draw the shoulder blades together. Back foot keeps scooping, like you could just scoop up ice cream out of your mat. We'll take another full breath in. Full breath out. Next inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms overhead, bring the gaze to center. Maybe hands clap, or maybe they just come overhead. And then we'll exhale, we'll settle back into our warrior two. Gaze comes soft over the front fingers. Inhale, lift up, extend the front leg. Exhale, Release down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice job, everyone. We'll release the hands back to the hip. Right thumb and pointer finger come into the hip crease. Press into the big toe mound on the right foot and maybe even lift the toes off the earth. And then press into that toe mound. We're going to extend the front leg. Right hand is in that hip crease, and you're going to use that to snuggle the right hip under the left as you start to come into your triangle. And you might stay right here. You might release a hand to a knee, to a block. Keep a slight micro bend in that front knee to protect the hips. And then if this all feels good, you might extend the left arm to the sky. We'll take another full breath in. Exhale everything out. Inhale lifts you up. Keep the leg extended. Reverse triangle. Let the left arm drift behind you. Right arm to the sky. Take another full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. And we'll exhale, tick-tock back to center. Bend into the right knee just a little bit. And then pick up the toes. Rotate back to center. We'll release the hands to the hips once again. And then we'll pick up the toes on the left side. Right toes turn in a little bit. And then you're feeling into that hip action, right? So rather than dumping the hips into this, right, we're keeping the front of the pelvis lifted, pressing into that back foot, and then that will bring us into this lunge, right? And so these hips, front of the hip stays lifted. There's some more space in that left hip crease. Beautiful, everyone. And then as this feels good and solid, you might extend the arms, draw the shoulder blades together. Beautiful adjustment. And then gaze a soft out over the front middle finger. Full breath in. Full breath out. Another breath in. Let it go. We'll find our movement here. So inhale. Gaze comes center. Extend the front leg. Arms overhead. Exhale. Settle back down. Gaze comes over the left arm. And we'll just take this a few more times. Let's do one more. We'll settle into our warrior two. Release the hands to the hips. Left thumb and pointer finger come into that hip crease. And you're starting to pick up the left toes, press into that big toe mound, and then straighten through the front leg, slight micro bend in that left knee. And then you're using that pressure just to snuggle in the left hip underneath the right. Nice job, everyone. And then from here, you might stay, or you might slide the left arm down to a soft knee, to a shin, to a block on either side. Keeping that right the right shoulder lifted. And then if this all feels good, you might extend the right arm up to the sky. Beautiful. Find the breath. Full inhale. Long, soft exhale. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. We'll exhale everything out. On an inhale, rise back up. We'll bend into this knee. We'll pick up the toes. Bring them back. And then wherever the toes are at, pick up the heels and bring that in. And then hands come to the thighs. You might just take a little rock and roll back and forth. Don't worry, we're almost back to the ground. All right, and then from here, we'll find a little lift in the heart, drawing the shoulder blades together, pressing down into the feet. We'll inhale for length, and with an exhale, drop right shoulder down to the earth. Inhale back up. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale back up. And let's take that a few more times, both sides. And when you've completed both sides and you feel even, maybe, just maybe, you step together or you jump and clap. Yeah. All right, my dears. Let's make our way onto the belly. And you might want your strap nearby. I know, I wasn't all the way down yet, so that's why I remembered late. All right, and then from the belly, we're going to start with our Sphinx pose. So elbows come underneath the shoulders. And think about pressing down into the forearms like you could drag and lift yourself up out of the earth. And then as you continue that action of dragging and lifting, think about pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat, like all 10 toes. Feel the quadriceps activate, and then lengthen the tailbone to the earth. So there's just a little bit of rotation in the pelvis. We've been doing a lot of that rotation. So think about instead of like that, right, we're kind of lengthening down, and that helps to press the hips down a little bit, but with some effortlessness, right? And then from there, we're continuing to lift the heart, lift the spine, and then maybe chin to chest just a little. Another full breath in, full breath out. Inhale once again here. And with an exhale, we'll lower back down to the earth, interlaced fingers underneath the forehead. And then from here, you might walk the knees a little bit wider and send the feet to the sky and windshield wiper the legs here. This can feel nice for the front of the thigh and the pelvis. And then we'll come back to neutral. With the forehead down on the earth, I'm only lifted so that you can hear me okay. We're going to walk the arms out to the side, so like all the way off your mat, and create a 90-degree bend in the elbows. So I like to come up on spider fingers. Some of us like to just be on the hands. I find the spider fingers gives a little more mobility. So just finding kind of whatever works for you here. We're going to start with the forehead down on the earth. Press the toes into the earth. Lengthen the tailbone towards the toes. And with an inhale, you'll just peel the heart up as much as comfortable. And with an exhale, you're dropping right shoulder down to the earth. Inhale back up. Exhale back down. Inhale back up. Exhale back down. And so we'll just continue to rotate from one side to the other. For a lot of us, this creates a lot of mobility, a lot of openness in the shoulders, in the shoulder blades. We'll take a couple more. See if you can tune into just a little more effortlessness. even in the drama. Nice job, everyone. We'll come back to neutral, interlace fingers under the forehead, take a couple belly breaths here. And then from here, we have one final movement before we roll onto the back. You're going to start with the forehead down. Arms are going to work alongside the body, and you might take the strap in both hands. So if hands don't clasp comfortably, and what I mean by comfortably is that if when you clasp hands, the shoulder head continues to drop down like this, right, that dropping down of that shoulder blade, you want to hug everything together and stay lifted because eventually we're going to come into this shape. So you might interlace fingers, you might just hold onto a strap, but you want to start with continuing to draw the shoulder blades together as close as possible, lifting the shoulder heads away from the earth. Full breath in, full breath out. And on an inhale, we'll start to reach the fingertips towards the toes and then use that to lift the heart, to peel the heart. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together, and you might tug on that strap to keep things lifted, to keep the shoulder heads away from the earth. And then finally, you might lift legs up and come into full locust, Shalambhasana. We'll take another full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in. Beautiful. And with an exhale, let's soften down, left ear to the earth. Just let the hands and arms drift alongside the body. Let everything relax. Come into that full sensation of effortlessness. And then switch the gaze to the opposite direction. Another couple belly breaths here. And then we'll come to neutral, forehead to the earth. Walk the hands in line with the chest. Pick up the shoulder heads, draw the shoulder blades together. And on an exhale, press into tabletop. And then use that just to make your way onto your back. We got to create a little support and evenness of the shoulders before you lay down. All right, my dears, with a big breath in, take a good morning stretch. And with an exhale, draw the right knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze. Inhale here, and with an exhale, draw the knee across the body for supine twist. You might think about keeping that right shoulder blade into the earth, and then just allowing the left arm to help bring that knee across. You might lift hips and feel that rotation in the spine. Whatever you do, see if you can breathe into the right side body just a little more. Another full breath in. Let it wash over you. Exhale, soften. We'll inhale here. And as you exhale, hug belly button to spine, slowly unwind. Release that leg down to the earth. Arms come overhead. Full breath in. And exhale, left knee comes in this time. Take a round of breath. Big inhale. Exhale. We'll inhale, and with that exhale, start to draw the left knee across the body. Keeping that left shoulder blade planted. Maybe the hips lift and come with that knee. Just allowing gravity and the breath to unwind you. Another full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale once more here. And on the exhale, start to unwind, bringing that knee back to neutral, both hips to the earth. Send the leg long, arms overhead. And with an exhale, draw both knees into the chest, one at a time or both together. Give them a little squeeze. And then see if you can bring the knees all the way into the armpits. So the knees will go a little bit wider. And then start to slide the hands up to the ankles or to the feet. And then see if you can press the feet to the sky. So coming into your happy baby. And you might roll around here, you might rock. You might kick one leg out as you hold on to it for ninja baby. That's maybe my favorite. And just play around, right? Babies are joyful. They don't know anything about life yet. Embrace your inner baby, your inner playfulness, that joy. Because what comes out of effortlessness, right? Because the effort never changes, but how we perceive it is what shifts. And out of that effortlessness comes joy and appreciation and gratitude, contentment. If there's anything else that's calling to you this morning, any other movements, any other actions, take a couple more breaths to settle in. It might be figure 4, it might be plow pose, it could be even a shoulder stand. And when you're ready, beginning to settle into your final resting posture, allowing the body to completely relax. We'll be here for a few moments. If the mind wanders, just allow the mind, the attention, your focus, to rest on the breath, the altar of your breath, as if you could physically place the attention on some altar that is your breath. Now is the time to know that all that you do is sacred. Now, why not consider a lasting truth with yourself and God? Now is the time to understand that all your ideas of right and wrong were just a child's training wheels to be laid aside when you finally live with veracity and love. Haviz is divine envoy, whom the beloved has written a holy message upon. My dear, please tell me, why do you still throw sticks at your heart? What is it in that sweet voice inside that incites you to fear? Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and action is sacred. This is the time for you to deeply compute the impossibility that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred. Dear souls, begin to deepen your breath. Feeling into the joy of the breath. And as you're ready, finding some gentle movements, wiggling toes and fingers, rolling out ankles and wrists, finding a good morning stretch, reaching the body long, hugging knees to chest, and rolling onto one side. Taking a moment in this shape of new beginnings, new perspectives, to imagine how you'll step off to your mat today and move into the world with a little more effortlessness in all that you do, allowing for flow and for grace, and the ability to move into that present moment over and over again. And when you're ready, slowly coming up mindfully into a seated position and making yourself as comfortable as possible. And we'll close our time together with 3 ohms. Let's take some connecting breaths in through the mouth, out through the nose, or other way. You knew what I meant. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more, just like that. We'll inhale for sound. Oh. 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 Bringing the hands to heart center in Anjali or Hridaya Mudra. Bowing the head to the heart. And repeating quietly, with great respect and love, I honor my heart, my inner teacher. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings in all three worlds. Be happy and be free from suffering. Dear souls, thank you so much for showing up and doing something so kind for your body, your mind, and your soul. And thank you for allowing me to guide you. It's my honor and privilege to be here and hold this space together in community. The light in me, the light in you, it is the same. Namaste. Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ah, how we